Bulls fans, this will make you scream because every time something successful happens, it seems like the Chicago Bulls are a part of it, but we don't get the success. But I got a way to fix that. Hi, I'm Shaq Barnes here with another episode of Bulls Digest, the number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls. I know 6-7% of you guys have been watching the channel and have not subscribed. Treat it like the Bulls intro and run right through that subscribe button. Now, I'm a little bit under the weather a little bit, so I ain't gonna have too much crazy energy like I usually do. But you know how I do my videos when I record. Let's get right to it. I ain't trying to waste you guys' time. So I don't know if you knew this or hope you guys remember this. Do you remember when Tyrese Haliburton begged the Bulls to draft him in 2020, but the franchise went in the other direction? That other direction is Patrick Williams. Now I have good and bad things to say. Or I'm gonna play devil's advocate on one side of it when it comes to this situation with the Bulls. But yes, the Bulls, the guy who just hit the game winner last night, he was begged to come to Chicago Bulls during that time. Tyrese Haliburton begged the Bulls to draft him in 2020, but the franchise went in a different direction. Originally appeared on Fadeaway World, the Chicago Bulls have been mired in mediocrity for about a decade now, but things might have been different today had they not made a big mistake in the 2020 NBA draft. The Bulls had the fourth pick, and a certain Tyrese Haliburton was very keen to be drafted by them. Okay, look, I'm gonna play devil's advocate for this one. That's 2020 is the first part, right? Let's go to 2020. That was during COVID time. Nobody really could evaluate everybody. Nobody really, so you were just really going off a limb. So I think that year you kind of get a pass on missing out on a guy because you just during that year, besides Ant-Man, Wiseman, and LaMelo, everybody else was up in the air. It was literally up in the air. So either you just picked on who you thought was good, or you picked, like majority of people did, pick for what positions that they needed. Which the Chicago Bulls felt at the time they just needed a wing, and they was expecting Lonzo to come back. And you also say things could have been different. You don't really necessarily know that. Like, let's get this thing out the way, right? Everybody in the NBA can play basketball. They are good. Everybody's in the NBA is good. But for you to be great in the NBA is off the situation that you go into. Situation is one. The opportunities that you can get to be great. And you got to hopefully you with a good organization that once they figure out that you're good, they can build around you and make you even greater. Because you got to remember, Tyrese Haliburton went to the Kings. The Kings had him call the bench. They didn't believe in him. They traded to Indiana. And what Indiana do, they see what good player he was, and they built around him the right way. And that's what it is. Stop thinking that unless you just a generational talent like a LeBron James, things like that, then you could go anywhere and change the franchise up. But it's just like that's not going to happen with any and everybody. So those things do matter. Now, the next thing was Tyrese Haliburton's actual quote. Sorry about that. Tyrese Haliburton's going to say, I think I fit well in Chicago with the two guards and Kobe White and Zach Lavine that can score at a high level. I can come in right away and be somebody that can take the burden off of them and facilitate whatever they need in Chicago or any organization for that matter. I'm ready to do. Now, during that time with Lonzo being hurt, the Bulls kept that mindset of believing in Lonzo Ball, so I think that's why they went to Patrick Will and Tyrese Haliburton. Tyrese Haliburton could have gave us the playmaking that Lonzo Ball was giving us day one, and then actually improved to be better. And he was going to be a better scorer than Lonzo from day one. But he wasn't going to bring that same defense, and I think that probably what turned a lot of people off of Haliburton because he was like kind of small frame, so people thought maybe he wouldn't go last because of his small frame, or he wasn't be able to do what he was doing in college because of his small frame. But I think the playmaking and the vision that he was going to bring to the Chicago Bulls would have been great because Kobe White is better playing the off-guard position. Obviously, you see what happened with Josh Giddey this year. You get a playmaker in, and you see what happened, how the team looks outstandingly well. So I just think that would have been great in hindsight, but like I said, to play devil's advocate, 2020 was a weird year when it comes to the draft. So nobody really got evaluated to the right way. You just really was going off a limb picking in a hat. Because let's be real, even the Warriors, the little bit time that they had with Ant-Man, They literally said they wouldn't have drafted Ant-Man. They had number one pick because of the little small town. They had to really evaluate him. They couldn't really do it like the regular process because there was so much going on during that time. So I'm not faulting the Bulls for not taking Tyrese Haliburton, but you just I'm just saying you gotta let's put some context into it. And then also with Tyrese Haliburton, let's be honest, would Tyrese Haliburton be the same Tyrese Haliburton right now if he was on Chicago with Billy Donovan? We don't 100% know that. So one more thing before I tell you what the Bulls should do, and this is the main part of the video that I was bringing to you guys about. Halliburton has been Halliburton would have been a great fit for Chicago. Next to scoring guards like Zach Lavine. Unfortunately, the Bulls went in a different direction. They selected Patrick Williams, who hasn't exactly set the stage on fire, which is true. Williams averaging 9 points, 3.8 rebounds, 2 assists, just under a steal, just under a block per game for the Chicago Bulls. A 2024-2025 season while shooting 39% from the field. They had given him a 5-year, $90 million extension in 2024, and is now viewed as one of the worst contracts in the league. The Bulls went 39-43 this season and missed out on the playoffs for the third year in a row. You do wonder where they would be today with Haliburton. While you can criticize the Bulls for picking Williams and giving him the deal, I'm criticizing for the deal more than anything. You cannot be too hard on them for pass Haliburton. A total of 11 teams passed on Haliburton in the draft, with the Sacramento Kings selecting him at 12. There was concerns regarding his athleticism, and jump shot wasn't pretty to say. His jump shot ain't pretty, but he knocks it down. And that's what a lot of NBA teams try to change the jump shot. Like, you don't need, if it's work, don't change the jump shot. Two, the reason I don't feel bad because, the Pistons picked Killian Hayes over him. And I don't think Killian Hayes in the league no more. So I'm cool with, what I'm saying. We got Patrick Williams. At least he's still counted in the league. He's a servable guy. But that $90 million contract is crazy. But I don't know. But also the question you can ask too, would Tyrese Haliburton still be the same Tyrese Haliburton? He do got Rick Carlisle over there. Like, he got a great coach. He got the system that's built around his play style to make him great. So I don't know if Billy Donovan would have did that type of play style. You don't know. But the main thing that I was talking about for Chicago Bulls that they need to do, sorry about that, turn under the weather. I believe that the Chicago Bulls should follow the Pacers blueprint. I know everybody looking at different teams saying what blueprint should follow. I ain't gonna lie, we cannot follow the OKC blueprint because we don't have the multitude of draft picks and we don't have like a Paul George caliber player to go get SGA caliber young player right now. So when I say follow the Pacers, man, this is what I mean. Look at their roster, right? You got a bunch of outcasts and solid draft picks that you pick. Nembhard was a second-round pick. Benedict Matthews was one of their picks in the first round. And Miles Turner was the long-time vet that they had. Tyrese Haliburton, an outcast player with talent, young talent, he was off the bench in the rotation. I say go get somebody like that. Obi Toppin. New York didn't really feel Obi Toppin. He got outcast out, picked up Obi Toppin. You got Nembhard, who saved Neesmith, I'm sorry, not Nembhard. Neesmith, who saved the Pacers in game 1. He was on Boston. Couldn't get in the rotation. Came to Pacers, became a gem. And for our owner, who don't like to pay that much money, look at how they built their team. Their team is not even in the. I don't even think they even in the first apron. Like they under the money. They great right now. The Pacers are great, but they're also what you need to do to make everything work and go full circle. When you find a young team in the core and you're like, oh man, we good. We found our multitude of players. Go get a championship vet to add to your team to make everything work, like a Pascal Siakam. And Pascal Siakam don't cost that much, but he come in, make winning plays. So I think the Chicago Bulls need to go around and find those young gems who's not getting a good time at other teams and add them. Then when you find out your pieces that you like and the pieces that work, then you go add championship vets. I know one name was on the list. I think that'd be great to add Cam Whitmore. Cam Whitmore of the Rockets. But let me know what you guys think about that. Do you think the Chicago Bulls should follow the Indiana Pacers blueprint to rebuilding this team. I also think so. I think you should because you should just find an outcast and build around them. Because some players are good, they just not getting the opportunity. And also, would Tyrese Haliburton be the same Tyrese Haliburton if he was on the Chicago Bulls? I'm Shaq Barnes, SB Talk Sports, and I will see you guys on the next one. I'm going to give me some more tea. I am out.